Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bangalore WordPress Expert Meetup. Let me start off by introducing us. We are CodeWalnut, a coding agency that serves big enterprises with web applications. Recently, we have built the fastest built e-commerce website for the aviation industry, and it has been built in a record-breaking time of 3 months. And the reason why we are conducting this workshop is that recently we have been noticing the updates in WordPress, and we think this is a very exciting space, and going forward we'll have a lot of updates, and we see a lot of potential in websites powerfully built with WordPress and the CMS integrations. So today, in the course of next 2 hours, you can expect some of the key speakers who are also eminent WordPress speakers to present over the latest topics and updates on WordPress, and also we'll have some more we will also have a look at some best GitHub practices and CSS library practices like Bootstrap. And to begin with, we will start with our keynote speaker, Ajit. So Ajit is the CEO and the founder of LUBUS. It's a 360-degree digital solution provider. Also note, Ajit is a prominent speaker for WordPress event. He has been contributing to the WordPress economy for the last 15 years by being an active plugin development engineer. He's also a mentor, and he also speaks in WordCamps, and he has also been volunteering and mentoring along with site developments. So without further ado, let's welcome Ajit.
So before we start with the sessions, how many of you are familiar with the WordPress space here? Perfect. So a lot of people think that WordPress is more of a no-code tool. There is a lot of misconception around it. So there is a lot of no-code you can do. There is a lot of development that also you can do. And the last 7 years, there has been a lot of development in the WordPress space. And one specific area where WordPress has been extensively working on is getting the editor experience a top-notch. So previously we had one single window. We called it Classic Editor, because all you can do is how you write your Gmail. So that's the way you have to craft the entire content, and you have to use a lot of other third-party plugins to get your things right. So WordPress feels that there is a need to now do something and overhaul the overall editor experience. So they have been working on something called Block Editor, which was codenamed Gutenberg back in days, but now officially it is called Block Editor. So we will see why we call it Block Editor and why we need it. So what we right now see, what we will see again in here is going to be a big React application that is back in the WordPress. So people who are into the tech, they might be wondering what is React doing in the WordPress space. It's for the gig. And people who are not tech savvy, they will see, okay, we can do this with the WordPress also. Okay, this is how we can craft website, we can design this. So this is going to be a quick run through of how you can use it as a user. For the people who are into tech, this is going to give them an insight. Okay, so there is a theory. If you want to extend or build anything, first you have to know it as a user. So it is going to be helpful for the tech people and non-tech also. For the non-tech people, they will get a gist how to use this as a no-code tool and build a good website. For technical folks, they will know, okay, this is how things are done, and these are the areas that can be extended, like how they can push the envelope and extend the overall block editor. Every year WordPress come up with a default theme, and whole agenda of the theme is to showcase the capability of the WordPress to the end user, that if you install the website, if you use the default theme, these are the things that you can do out of the box without relying on third-party plugins or any customizations. So whole motto of WordPress is to help people quickly set up website and get their things up and running, and gradually customizing and extending it as per your needs. So if we look at the 2024 theme, can you scroll down? So this is the default theme that comes with the WordPress installation the moment you install the WordPress. So this theme showcases the entire capability of the block editor. So if we look at the templates, we have several page templates here: page, post, archive, 404. So all the content on this website is built with the block editor. So let's look at a page. So this is a simple basic page that is created with the block editor. Then this default theme comes with the pattern. So there is a concept of pattern also in the block editor. We have full page patterns and we have specific section patterns. Let's look at a theme. So it's very normal and common for people to have a section where they want to display photographs and name. We can call it theme, we can call it anything, but this is kind of a pattern. which repeats on any kind of websites. So like this, we have a lot of patterns that can be reused if you install the 2024 theme. So moving forward, we will see how to create this also. If we go, there is a section called full page patterns. Full page patterns. Under patterns, we have full pages. So apart from reusable sections, we can have a whole page which acts as a pattern. So let's look at a landing page. It is very common for marketing teams or businesses to have a lot of landing pages. You can see this is again a block editor. Let's see another pattern, full page pattern. Yeah. Let's look at patterns, about. So this is the about page. So 2024 comes with this pattern, full page and reusable patterns. Again, we can build them. We will see how. So we have seen the capability of templates, patterns. Now let's go to the style variations. So now if you look at the style variations, it's very common for you to have a website with different color schemes. Like based on different scenarios, we can have different colors. Like one of the project that CodeWalnut worked on, they had this requirement where they need to switch the website to a different color shade based on a certain occasion. So for example, they might have a white color and they want to go to a dark mode. So let's look at the dark. What happens if we click on this one? So entire website will be similar, but all the color scheme will change. Technically your layout and everything remains same, only colors changes. So again, this is very handy when you want to. So another example can be, you want your website to be in a typical your brand color, and then you are like, let's jazz it up for Christmas, let's have something for Diwali. So you can create certain kinds of style where everything remains same, but there is a certain twist in your overall look and feel. So this is where style variations come handy. So 2024 highlights this aspect, and there is a demo section also. So they have showcased how you can create different kinds of website. Let's look at the photographer. So you can see they have used the same theme and created another section. So this is the kind of the customization or ready to start websites that you can make with 2024. Like you can use this as a base, extend it and personalize it. So this were the capability. Now let's look at the block editor, like how all this thing is done. Yeah, so this is the default, let's go back. So if you do a demo installation, this is what you get. Yeah, you can close the two tabs. Yeah, that one, this one. Yeah, close this. Let's go to dashboard. So we will look at how we can create pages with blocks. The reason why it is called block editor, because we have a lot of reusable blocks that we can assemble. Literally we can assemble them. Like how as a kids we used to use Legos or different games where you assemble different blocks. So that's the terminology. Another fun fact is the reason why we got the name, and initially it was called Gutenberg, because it is based on the man who created the first printing press, where they used to have this metallic blocks for the printing press. So that was the idea for the block editor. So they were like, let's call it Gutenberg, which is a block editor. So now they have freezed on the block editor. So let's go to the page. Yeah, let's create a new page. So almost long back we didn't have this one. So if you just here. So if we start a new page and if we have the 2024 theme enabled, and if you don't have any content, so this is universal for all the themes. If you create your own handcrafted theme, it is the user experience that you get as an onboarding. So the editor is asking you what kind of content you want to create. Like it is blank, there is no title, no content into it. So it is showing all the patterns. Imagine you have your brand website, your own personal website. You can ship your own pattern. So a development team can sit with the design team, and design team can say that these are the reusable patterns that we have extracted. Now marketing and content team have access to them. So they will see all the patterns here. So for example, I say I want to start with the first pattern. Yeah.
These are all page patterns, right?
These are page reusable, all kind of patterns will be here.
Reusable patterns.
Yes. So there are two types of pattern that we get. One are the individual sections, and then reusing those sections also there can be a bigger pattern using those pattern. So now we have a quick access to page. We can just update the content. We have all the placeholder. So you can see it's very fast for the marketing and content team. See, just delete the entire content now. Yeah, this. Now delete all the content. Yes. Yeah, close this. So we can start blank also. Yeah, and now we have three different ways to interact with the block. So first one is the blue one. Yeah, close this. Yeah, then we have the plus icon here. If we click on the browse all, yeah. So it will bring us here. So these are the two handy one. We can see there are a lot of categories and everything where we can see there is a text, then there is a media if you scroll down. Yeah, there are a lot of categories where we can have the blocks, and developers can further extend and add their own blocks based on the business needs. So the third way, which I likes a lot, and a lot of people who write content will prefer using this. If we do a backslash, you get an inserter. You can say that I want to add an image. You can click on the image, add the image. If you want to add a heading, slash type H heading, you get the heading. So now if we look at both of them, they are two blocks. So we can drag and drop and change them. Yeah, so there is this arrow icon, we can click on them, arrow icons. Yeah, this one, move down and up. So this is the block. Blocks can be moved. This was not possible with the classic editor. We also have a drag and drop handler also. Drag. Yeah. So we can drag them up and down. Can you click on the document outline, the 3 lines? Left side, last icon, yes. So all these blocks are also listed here. So you can have a TOC kind of thing where you know what are the blocks that you are using. Now close this. Let's look at few things that block have. Once, if we select any of the block, like we have selected the heading, we have this toolbar, a floating toolbar. This allows us access to quick options where you can do the formatting, like you can do bold, italic, you can do the alignment options, and then we have a sidebar. Can you click on the sidebar? So we have additional settings here. You can control the text color, background color, typography, each and everything. Now the beauty is developers can further extend this. Even if it is the core block, if you want to add more options, you can add it here. It is no code for end users, but developers definitely can extend it to give a no code experience to the end client or to the end customer. Or even if you want to build and give it to your team, development stays with you, but your end team has a no code experience. So for example, at CodeWalnut, if we want the website, we will say that okay, development team will do all the development, but marketing and content will have an access to no code tool. So both the areas can be embraced. It is not no code or code. Best of both the worlds. Yeah. So these are the options we can use. This is styles. We can have different styles for the blog. We can register them also. So there are a lot of options. I will not dive into it because whole agenda of this session is to not tell you what everything is, but to give you a curiosity and gist, and we want you to further explore it. Yeah. So now this was the block editor. We have used it on the page, but we can use this block editor to build the entire website, be it your header, footer, your 404 section, your blog single page, your category page. Any area of your website can be customized and built. So we'll see how. So let's go to something called site editor. We have so this was the post editor or page editor. We have another editor which is again powered by the blocks. We call it site editor. So here they have the name called editor. Yeah. So we'll start with the basic fundamental. Every time we start a website, one common thing is we want our branding and everything, colors, typography aligned. So we know that what we are building is going to be in sync with our marketing guidelines. So if we click on the styles, so this is the first place we should start. Now this theme already have this. We can add as many styles here. So if we click on any other options, it will instantly change the color. Yeah, click on the blue one, dark blue, so that it is very clear. Yes. So it has changed to blue color. We can ship as many style variations here. Now if we click on the edit styles. Yeah. Now this area is called global styles, where all your design system is added and incorporated. So if we click on the typography, yeah, these are all the typography related options for your website. So we can have a brand color, links, heading, captions, everything here. So if we go back, yeah, just like typography, we have colors also. So we can add all the brand colors here. So these are provided by the theme. So they have for the geeks, there is a specific format called theme.json. So you can ship that, but marketing team feels that no, we need now 4 shades. So they don't have to go back to development team. Development team can provide them an option to define it here. So we can add colors. You can click on the colors. Yeah. Scroll back. So now here it is disabled. Can you click on the 3 dots? Colors. No, under colors. Yes. Yeah. So there are different color options. There is a tools. So here it is disabled. Development team don't want anyone to change the design system. but that option can be provided. We are like, okay, we know our marketing team is going to be mindful, let them have access to the colors they want. So entire global style system can be managed here. Yeah, can you go back? So similarly, we can dictate the layout also, like what should be content width, padding, margin, block spacing. So a lot of people who have worked with different CSS frameworks, you have seen that we have a design system there. A margin or padding scale where we say that okay, it will start with 0.2, then gradually increase by 0.5. So similarly, we can have here the design system. Like this is the basic block spacing. Yeah, can you go back? Yeah. So these are the three areas, and then there is a browse style. Sorry, not the browse style. Can you come back to the blocks under this section? Yes. So that was the global styles. Now we have different blocks also on the website. We want a default styling for those also. Like we want paragraphs to be in a certain way, headings be in a certain way. For example, we say all our headings are going to be a specific color and specific sizes. We can go here and do that. So this is the heading. This is the global style for your heading. So one is a top level color and typography. Then at refined level, we can say each and individual block will also have their global styling. Can you go back? Yeah. So this is again no tool, but development team has an access to a specific format where they can say that okay, we will lay down the entire structure and ship it. So this is the global styling. So can you click on the eye icon? Yeah. So now we have configured everything, but your design team want to understand whether you have replicated the Figma or the design to the website or not. So normally in the Figma they can visualize everything. So to help the design and development team be aligned and sync with it, they have a style book. So if you can see, they have laid on everything here. You will have a one click access to all the different blocks and the global styling to cross verify that it is following the design system or not. So we have text related block. If we go on the media, it will show how the images are displayed. Click on the media. So this is how cover block is going to look, image, gallery, audio. So it becomes easy for you to verify that design team and dev team is on same page. Even marketing team can confirm that okay, we are following our brand guidelines. So this is the style book. So this is the first step. Whenever we have a website, we define the design system, stylings and everything. Now let's move to the second part. Second part is getting our foundational pieces like header, footer and everything. So let's go back. Yeah. So now we will go to the patterns. So here we have two reusable patterns, and then can you scroll down? Yeah, we have template parts. So they call it template parts, header and footer, which are common across the sites. So if we click on the header, we have one header here. We can have multiple headers. We can conditionally say that okay, this 4 pages will have this header, this 4 pages will have different headers. So if we click on the header, can you click on the header? Yeah, edit it. Edit it. Click on it. Yes. So now we have the header in the view. We can edit it, add our menu. So we have the menu there. Just click anywhere on the block. Yeah. So now it is in a full site editor mode. It is a template part editor. So we can add whatever we want here as a part of header. So on the right we have, on the right, the sample page. Yeah. So this is navigation block. So can you click on the outline, block outline on the top? Block outline. Yes, this one. So click on the group, expand that. Yes. So now we have a row. Yeah. So we have a navigation block and we have the icon here. Expand the row one. Yes, row. Yes. So we have the site logo group. So these are different blocks that can be used to build the header and footer. So likewise, we are not restricted to these two blocks. You can have a search bar in the header as per your requirements and needs. Similarly, we can modify the footer also. Now let's go back. So these were the template parts which will eventually become your template. Now we will look at templates. Go back. Yeah. So we have templates. So WordPress have this hierarchy where they said, okay, this is your archive page, this is your category. They have predefined set of pages. So historically, we have been manually creating this pages on the development end. Right now also we can do it on the development end. We can give them a set design pages, but at the same time they have a flexibility to modify them. For example, if we say for 404 page, yes. So we can entirely modify this, and Whenever there is a scenario where user is not able to access the page, he will see the design. So now we are not restricted where we have to go back to the design team or we have to go back to the backend team to say that, okay, no, we now need a different copy on the 404 page. This can be easily handled via the no code, via your content or marketing team. Can you go back? Yeah, so similarly, we have all the pages here. We have the blog home also. Can you click on the blog home? Yeah. So this is again can be customized. So you can see we have options here. What are the number of posts that you want to display?
See the Figma we got, we had a blog home and then let's say there's a sticky widget on the right.
Yes.
That has to be custom developed, right?
Most of the stuff are possible, 99%. We can have the sticky positioning for the right side also. So we have option to define our CSS classes and IDs. We can do that.
Without code.
Yeah, mostly no code. Like there will be a small CSS styling that we can add, but 99% is taken care. So now they have added options for making elements sticky also. So technically we will not need that also. Yeah. So can you go back? So these were the templates. Now let's get back to the patterns. So this is the pattern library. So for example, we got the design from the client and now we know that there are going to be 8 or 10 design patterns. We want to give them the access to build their websites. So here we can categorize them. For example, if there is a marketing page, if there is a sales page, there is a portfolio, product, we can have different pages or different categories of designs. We can break down them into several patterns and put it here. So next time if marketing wants to create a landing page, they know they can go to this particular section. Like for example, go to banners. So you can see we have all the banners here, all the patterns here. So we have pre-designed and provided them with all of these patterns. So let's have a quick look how we can create such kind of patterns. Yeah. Just go back and create a new page. Yes. Add any 2 or 3 blocks. So let's have a heading and an image. Yeah. Just add an empty placeholder. Now consider a hypothetical situation where we have a requirement where we want a reusable content like this. We want a placeholder. We want to change the image and the text. So this is going to be our pattern. For example, let's say we will have red color for the heading. Can you add the red color? Yeah, for the text. So now this is our pattern. We want to create a pattern. Select all the blocks. So we can select both the blocks. Yes. You can do Control A. Yeah. So now you can see the toolbar has changed. Now we have an option called Create Pattern. So we are combining those 2 blocks with the configuration that we have added, and now we are going to say that this is going to be our new pattern. Click on the Create Pattern. So now it is going to ask us the name. What is going? Let's call it My Heading. Yeah. So we can add the categories also. If we don't add the category, it will automatically place it under My Patterns. So let's keep it without any category. So there is an interesting option called Synced. This one is very interesting and very useful. So we might have 2 different type of patterns. One pattern that gets changed from one page to another page. We want the layout and everything, but we don't want the content to be same. So we will switch this off. That's the one scenario. Stay there. Now imagine that you have a banner, a marketing banner, which keeps on changing the content. It will have the image and content change, but overall design, layout, everything remains same. Link to your deals page also remains same. Only the content will change and the image will change. So what you can do is, now that banner is going to be used on 400 pages. Are you going to go to all the pages and do the updates? No, we are not going to do that. So what we can do is, we can say that use sync pattern. So if you add a sync pattern anywhere and you change it at one place, it gets updated across the site. So that's the beauty of sync pattern. So for now, we are not going to keep it synced. Close it. Create. Yes. So now this pattern is available. If we click on the plus icon, can you click on the plus icon? Or go to a new page. That's better. So now we have created a pattern here. We are going to add a new page and try to reuse it. Yeah. Just close this. Click on the plus icon. Yeah. If we go under the patterns, My Patterns. Yeah, My Patterns. So now we have one pattern here, My Heading. Just click on it. So we now have a pattern inserted here. So if you see here, we can give a no-code experience to the teams where they can manage and update their website entirely. But whatever we are seeing right now, everything is customizable from the developer perspective. If you have expertise or knowledge with React, they definitely have a lot of stuff for you to customize. For example, the top toolbar can be customized. Can you click on those 3 dots? Yeah, so we can add our plugins here, we can add our options here, we can add new blocks here, we can extend the blocks. So technically each and every area is customizable, but it will need you to have a React expertise. So this was the gist of what block editor is. More you discover, more you will enjoy, more you will be surprised, okay, these are the things that we can do with the block editor. There is the last one thing that I want to show. Can you go to the editor, site editor? Yeah, so do command / command K. So now WordPress also comes with the command center. You don't have to use your mouse. You can just use the keyboard. Like for example, if you want to add a new page, we can do it here. Just type add. Yeah, add new post, add new page, type media. So you can have access to any of the function of the WordPress without touching your mouse. You can be a power user because content people like keyboard. They don't prefer mouse a lot. So they can use this. Again, fun fact is you can extend this command palette and add custom options here. So whatever we are seeing is no code, but at the same time, using code, you can make it more powerful. So it is catering to both the audiences. For the content editor, it is giving them a better editing experience. For the developer, we have a better developer experience where you can edit it. Yeah. So this was the gist of the block editor, what we have.
We can able to integrate APIs in this WordPress.
APIs as in, so it's a little open because we have WordPress APIs, we have third-party APIs. So what kind of APIs we are looking at integrating?
So looking at integration of bus booking service and air booking services.
Definitely that can be done. So you can create custom block which will connect with those APIs. So let's consider a scenario that you have one block which will show the availability. Like we have this vehicles available for booking. So you create that block will connect to your third-party service and display everything. User clicks on it, again that can be connected with the third party. So yes, that's entirely possible. This entire block editor is customizable the way you want it. They have all the APIs available, they have the components. From development perspective, you can twist, turn and make it yours.
Where we can do the coding part?
So coding part, you have to do it in a two-way. So one is the theme. If you want to do the layout or customization changes in terms of colors and everything, you can use the theme folder. So there is a specific file called theme.json. As usual, WordPress have certain predefined files, so you have to modify them. But if you want to create blocks, you have to create new plugin. For entire editor is a big React app. The keyword here is a React application. So if you know React, they have their APIs. You can create a plugin. You can extend the editor. So you can. That will be more out of the scope because it is more of a hardcore development. Yeah.
Actually, I was trying to insert a Bootstrap template. So I have a HTML, CSS and JavaScript file and Bootstrap file.
So that's not the best approach if you are working with a block editor because ideally you don't need Bootstrap.
Yeah.
You don't need Tailwind CSS. Whole idea of WordPress to come up with block editor is to take away those those decisions for technical from yourself. WordPress is like, I'm giving you design system, use this tool, add your design system here, because Bootstrap, what Bootstrap is doing end of the day?
More animations
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it is giving you set of helper functions, utility classes that you are end of the day going to create lot of HTML and add to it. So what block editor is doing, I will do that for you. So you have the paragraph block, you have the color option. The moment you select the color, they have a color palette. They will create the utility classes called BG Vivid, BG Red, and it will add it. So technically it is kind of a similar infrastructure of Bootstrap that you are getting. So you don't need it. Everything is there for you. You have to only focus on the business need. WordPress is like, I'm taking away the casual cliche work from you and now I want you to focus on your business needs. Like as sir mentioned that I want to integrate the API. That's your job, you do that. Don't work on this thing. You add your Figma design, you add your design system, let me handle everything. So they are taking away everything from you, giving you a great DX for a developer experience. Because most of the time we are working on those standard things and putting our 80% of the stuff.
Can we connect Figma and WordPress?
Connect as in?
Suppose I am a designer in Figma and I want to convert it to WordPress.
So right now there are a lot of tools. So it is not a straightforward conversion because they have their own format and Figma has their own format. So there are a lot of tools that claims, but I will suggest don't right now use them. Instead you can manually transfer it here. If you have your, or probably you can design a tool where you can say that I will click on the Figma, it will give me a JSON file which will work with block editor. Technically both of them have a JSON file. They have their format, they have their format. So that transition can be done. But right now it is more of a manual process.
So one question I had was like this whole headless CMS world, right? Does this version of WordPress stand up to headless CMS capabilities or is it not?
It is. So technically a lot of people already are using it as a headless CMS. For example, you don't want the layouting and everything. So you can go away from the block editor. Or you can still use the block editor and on the front end you can build your own stuff. For example, we say hypothetically we will use this as an admin panel. We will take content and everything and on the front end we will display it as per our needs in React or Next.js application. So again that can be done because all the data is by default available in the REST API. And they have a lot of helper functions also. Like for example, if we get the markup from block editor, it is in a certain format, serialized, but they have a function, they have the package. From the development perspective, you can use it and consume it there. But there are a lot of efforts in future where they are going to go more full throttle into headless mode. Because fun fact is, now they have started getting the React across the admin panel. So right now, site editor is React. But if we click on the page, can you go on the pages? All pages? Yeah. So now, right now this is an HTML page. HTML and PHP page. In next 6.5, they are aiming to make this page headless. So technically all the data will come from React. So on the front they are going to use the React components. Behind us it is going to use the REST API. So technically they themselves will go into an headless mode. So that is a testimony that whatever we are going to build is going to be definitely flexible.
One question, like in appearance, under appearance, in the previous versions, menus were there, right? So they are they completely gone now?
So they are here with a twist. So if you go on the navigation block, can we go on the header? Navigation. This is the place now where we have the navigation. So click on the navigation. Yeah. So here we can add the pages and everything. Click on the edit. Yes. So now we can, if you see the menu editor is here.
Okay.
You can add block. You can add page, buttons, everything. This one is more flexible compared to what we have.
That was more PHP.
It was more PHP, but it was more form based. Like you don't have any access. You can add links and that's it. If you want to do anything else, you have to do a lot of mumbo jumbo. But end of the day, it's not just the text or link we want. We want search menus. We want buttons. It can be anything. So now we are free to add whatever block we want in the navigation. Again, this can be restricted. If you see, we have a set of options here. Like you can add the site logo, which is there. Can you edit the navigation? Yeah.
I got it.
Yes.
We can add links
Yes.
and any.
Yeah. So this is the new interface. So it has transitioned into a much better one. That interface is no longer used. They are deprecating that. So technically, that will vanish soon.
Basically, our previous versions of WordPress, those are not of use. Right?
Yes. So behind the scenes, same infrastructure is being used.
And one thing is it like we can make it responsive easily? Like if we are making header, so can it be made responsive easily, like for the mobile version?
So there is a lot of effort on the responsive part. They are still being very mindful. Do they want all the options? Because a lot of existing solutions, they have all the options. So they are trying to make a decision making in a way where they don't bloat the overall interface and they don't give you a lot of options. So their theories don't give the options, give the decisions. So that's what they are trying to do. But yeah, lot of things that you can do. There are blocks called row block, a column block, then there is a group block. So the entire flexbox thing is available. Like if someone is coming from the technical background, CSS, they can use them. And there are a lot of options which mentions that, like how in the Bootstrap we say, stack it, use this column. So again, that can be done here. There are several layout columns which dictate that. So it is not 100%, but yeah, technically they are working on that part where they want to add a lot of responsive options. So at current state, we can say they are there, but a lot of more options are coming in.
Thanks. We'll move to the next speaker and come back.
Yeah, we can take more questions later on.
I have a question. By using this blog editor, how does it help for the performance of the page?
So by default, the reason why they don't want you to use Bootstrap or anything is whatever they are giving you is already run through their performance team. So they are making sure that whatever the DOM is generated is lightweight. Whatever CSS generated is lightweight. So you get the performance. So the core team itself is making sure that performance is the first factor. And that's the reason why they are going very slow with the development. But yeah, whatever is so default theme, if you evaluate, you will get a good scores on the Google speed. So you can test that. So we can take a lot of questions later on. Let's have the other speakers. Thank you.
As you can see, it has updates game. So far we have been learning about the UX and the editor experience of the WordPress app. Now, for more insights into the developer experience and how the architecture of the applications will be, we have our next speaker, Hemant. So Hemant is a full stack developer with 6 years of experience in the WordPress space. He is an open source plugin contributor, and he has also worked on companies which has built tools that are now being used by millions of users across the world, like Astra. So let's welcome Hemant to present our next topic, architecture.
Thanks for the introduction. So yeah, thanks Ajit for the great session regarding the blog architecture and like how we are moving forward with the WordPress sessions, like future of the WordPress. Like as the community of WordPress, we are moving further. So as we are seeing that WordPress is totally moving to the React base. So that's a really good session, Ajit. Lots of things, and thanks for all to coming. So coming to the topic like WordPress architecture. So first we'll go with like what is the architecture, right? So like what is architecture and why it is important? First of all, like why it is important? Like if you need to create a building, you need a base. But if you need to create a Burj Khalifa, you need a strong, solid base. So same you can relate like this. Like if you need to create an architecture, you must need to be whatever the themes or plugin you are going to be built in WordPress, it must needs to be a strong architecture so that people can extend those things. So like we know that we get the idea what is architecture and how we need to, like what is the main important, like why we need to have that architecture. Like in the previous you mentioned that where we can go with the codes or something like that. So this is something what we need to build something. So like when we get a project, we start building we don't aware about this system or CMS of things. We just take one file and start coding on there, and that's all things. But what WordPress suggesting, are we going with that, or what is the default architecture they provide? What are the best practices they are providing? Because it's an open source platform. So when you try to upload, it will be going to use for millions of peoples who are going to be user. So it needs to be a top-notch practices. So inside that, like what I see in my initial time, that what I felt the issues, like I start developing codes, but at the end, like after some time, it's hard to manage, it's hard to scalable, it's hard to flexible those code. So like what I can say that the code architecture is based on, if in my best practices, I will say that it depends on the 4 main pillars. First, it needs to be maintainable, it needs to be scalable, it needs to be flexible, as well as the backward compatibility. This option, backward compatibility, is also a major point. So maintainable in sense like you must need to follow a basic folders and file structures in WordPress. So WordPress itself has their own themes and plugins. So you need to as it mentioned in his session, that the 2024 is a default theme comes with the WordPress. So if you need to extend some modules, some extension, you can create a plugin according to that. But creating a plugin is not like that. You just create a plugin and that's it. You must need to follow good architecture for that. So I explained the first point, like maintainable, how you can use that. You must need to be maintain those things, because whatever things you are developing for a plugin, like for your company or for an enterprise level, so if it need to maintain for certain time of period, so it's not like that you have a one file which has 5,000 lines of code, then you will like, oh, where I need to navigate now, I'm not able to recognize where I need to edit or where I need to go for that. So you must need to, WordPress provide itself a lot of function sorry, so WordPress provide a lot of function where you can use them and start to maintain those easily. Then scalable, definitely, who is going to be work, like suppose I had developed one, just example that there is an image section, we are seeing that block. Suppose there is a default option available to upload an image. What if I need to upload a video? So I can extend that. So you need to provide those filters, those actions into your code, so that if any other developers is coming, they can easily extend your code. Instead of editing your code, they can just use your code and move forward that. This is the flexibility you need to provide in your code. And the last option, if I can mention, the backward compatibility. So in WordPress itself maintain a backward compatibility. For example, working several years in plugin development, so we face a lot of issues, like, you know, just taking an example, like suppose I have a plugin which has just only checkbox. I need to check and the model pop-up will open. So I release a plugin, the plugin is done, people are using it, right? And certainly a client or some user said that we don't need such option, please remove this. So as per the suggestion, like we also find that this is not a good option, let's remove and provide more flexibility. So what we do, like we just remove that option and we release again plugin. But what if user get update this, because we are just releasing the code, we are not having their database or something like that, it definitely going break on their sites. So we don't need to do, we need to make sure that the conditions and everything, that whatever the users are using our old base of code, they have been maintainable, they had been backward compatibility, so that it will work for the new users, the new code, the old users, the old code. So it needs to be a backward compatibility. So we go through the architecture, we like why we need the architecture, then what is the purpose of having a good architecture, like what I can say that this is a good architecture or this is the best practice, like WordPress by saying that this is the best architecture or something like that. So we must need to have a clean folder structure and file structure. For an example, if we are having a file, inside that, if we are having some CSS or some JS or some images or fonts, something like that, then it needs to be in some folder called assets. Then we need to have some src folder which will contain some css folder. If we have some loader file, then what, like the naming convention and everything needs to be very clear, that the loader.php. So by listening the name, we are, or any developer get an idea that this is a loader file of this theme. So what will this do? This will load any several files of the themes. We will go into that file, we will see whole the code, okay, now it's clean, this file is loading for this actions, this file is loading for this things, and this file is loading for this things. So this is one ink folder, like as I mentioned, you need to have a clean folder structure. Like in WordPress, everything has an actions.php file, everything is work around the add actions, filters and everything. So it must be very neat and clean, that you create an actions.php file where all the actions of WordPress will be goes on, so that if you need to register any add actions or any actions, you can just go into that specific file, or if any developers is coming further, they will be know that I need to add this into this file. Similarly, the cache, filters, front end page, templates parts, template updates, the enqueue things, like the CSS, JS part, as I mentioned earlier as well, right? So if you need to add a CSS, you did your work, right? If new developers came and they want, like, I need to add a CSS part, then he was like, okay, where to add, how to add, am I aware about, then he need to a lot of R&D. But as per the, if we are going with a good architecture, we know that okay, there is one file called themenq.php. You can go into that and you can find that okay, everything which is loading on front end, it is inside this themenq file. So by this way we can optimize the folder structure. Then moving further, like Bootstrap, like we are talking about Bootstrap and all of this thing. So for an example, what we do, like in WordPress, like we any framework like Tailwind or Bootstrap, what we do, we just go to CDN, copy that CDN, just register it. But what if like in for an example, if we just load the CDN, or if I just download the Bootstrap jQuery.css and I will just paste into my code, and it will contain a huge code, like, but I'm not using that whole of code, right? Are we using? No, I am using only, suppose I am using on my side just accordion, then why I need to load the CSS for the carousels, why I need to load the CSS for model pop-up, why I need to load the CSS of all other stuffs. So to overcome this, we need to increase the folder structure in that way that we can create packages things. We can use the SCSS concept of Bootstrap. We can leverage the part of Bootstrap and include those things, so that loading the carousel only, then we can set up some good practices, some best of linters and everything. So you piece of some commands, it will load only CSS for the carousel. If you are just saying Bootstrap that just load the carousel CSS for me, that's it, it's the only need, not load whole these things. Again, moving further, for example, if you had created a plugin, right? In creating a plugin, if you want a piece of CSS in particular section, so like there is a banner section, you need a CSS, like I need CSS for this only, there will be image, background, text and everything. So are you looking for those CSS or those part throughout the site? No, you are not. You are just want that specific thing. Then load those CSS, specifically provide such condition, use WordPress function which provides you ability to leverage those things, that you can load those things on specific pages. For an example, we create a plugins or themes, we provide a lot of options. Right now we are seeing Ajit is showing that this is the front end part and this is the dashboard where the plugins have settings. So how WordPress itself managing those things, that whatever the settings are available at the back end, we're not going to use in the front end. So whatever the CSS we are writing for, or JS we are writing for, those things just needs to be loaded over there only. You can maybe use simply isAdmin function, which is a default function of WordPress, which will check that okay, this is an admin panel, you need to load this CSS here only. Don't go on front end and load those CSS. So it helps a lot of in your performance optimization. It helps to load efficiently. So yeah, modern tooling. So like we go through architecture, we look like why we need the architecture, and then we go through what is the clean code. Now what is we have all of this, but are we sure that we are delivering a pixel perfect code to a client, or we are developing a pixel perfect, you can say, plugins or themes, right? For an example, like there are 10-20 developers are working on same project, like all people are not same. The coding standards, how you can make sure that the coding standards of your plugin or whatever you are delivering to your client is you can say that yeah, this is a pixel perfect, this has no issues with their PHP code, this is following all the CSS standards, this are following all the JS standards. So how you can do this? So WordPress itself provide their modern tools. They provide like PHP CS for their coding standards. So it takes PHP CS things and it helps you. Then it takes like for the JS part, you can use ESLint. Like working on React, you are aware about those things that the linters are available. So but while running some piece of command, you will get an idea, okay, so these are the errors I am facing, which is not as per the standard, which is the WordPress setting of that. For CSS, you can use the linters as well. Same thing you can use, as I said, the modernization part of Bootstrap. You can load whatever you want to load these things. That this is not working, we are not able to scalable this, we are not able to flexible this, it's very hard for us to maintain this through the site. What we can do here, then when we audit those site and we found that a lot of issue are there, that it is not properly organized, it not have a proper architecture, even it's get hard for us to recognize that okay, this code is coming from here, this code is coming from here, how can we go for this. So to get those things, I will show you some example like how it was before. So this is what we got at that time. You can see there is some UI folder, inside that there is some CSS, JS media, then again there is CSS folder, then again there is JS folder outside, then again some piece of files were there, linters was not available, there is SCSS part was there, CSS part was there. So it's totally like if I need to add some more CSS, like where I need to add, do I need to add CSS here or do I need to add here, whereas where I can found one specific file where I can enqueue those things. So all of this getting harder when you have such scattered code. So what we did, like this is we got before, then we just little bit improve these things. So now we just revamp those whole things. We just included that okay, we just remove all the dead code. It's also about to improve the DX. You know, the developer needs to have much clarity that what they are going to do. We added an assets folder. We just concluded okay, this is the CSS fonts, images, JS, that's it. Remove any other stuff. We have a ink folder. Inside that I just mentioned that the theme enqueue file was there, the all enqueue will be there, the cleanup.php were there. Yeah.
This thing is available in WordPress or?
Yeah, this is a structure, this is a theme structure of WordPress itself. So we just improve this little bit. So default WordPress theme, even the theme which we seen 2024, if you go to the backend, you will find this structure. So a lot of things were not there, but the basic structure will be there.
How we can see this folder in WordPress?
You can just go to the backend of WordPress and you will be able to see that things. So if you have a cPanel or if you set up this this on your local, you will be easily able to see the folders which is inside the WP content folder, and there will be a folders like themes and plugins where you can see their piece of folder. So here, like as I mentioned, like we are working 20-30 developers, how can we are going to mention that this is a pixel perfect code, right? So we had added linters which I was talking about. So you can see there is a style linter which take care of every CSS file inside this code, that this is we are just need to run the command like style lint and it will show you every piece of errors which are coming into, which is not as per the standard. Same thing for ESLint we have integrated, and it's for JS things which finds the errors in your jQuery code and JavaScript. Same thing we have PHP CS XML file which take care of everything. It follows the rules of WordPress itself, the WordPress core. So you just need to run a command and it will show you every error that this is not as per the standard. As per the WordPress standards, they will suggest that this is the deprecation code or the condition. For example, you are checking equal to, but you are not checking the triple equal to. So they suggest you check the triple equal to, the strict comparison you need to do, such kind of things they provide. So yeah, this is what we did in the improvement part. So yeah, thank you.
About Bootstrap, and not to forget, he's also an AI enthusiast, so he will tell us how we can leverage AI to improve our developer experience and make our life easier as a developer. So let's welcome Lopi.
So hi everyone, welcome to this meetup, and thank you Hemant for clearing that Bootstrap thing. I think your question is also cleared now. You have one more question, like we can create how we can find that folder. So you have some cPanel access. When you go there, there is a WP content folder, you can find it there, and you can create your own components also, like for the project on which I am going to explain you something. For that also we are creating a custom code. We are writing a custom code for that. It's complete new theme which we created for them. So let's move to my topic. So my topic is basically Bootstrap 5 optimization with ChatGPT. Before going to this topic, I think I need to explain and tell a little bit about me. So I am Laprit. I am a developer like you guys. So whenever we work on any project or we develop something, our main aim is to deliver a best quality. Okay, and when we say a best quality, it means the code should follow our industry standards. The errors on this code should be like it minimum. Okay, so it should be very minimum. If there is some business error, that we can catch. Okay, this is a business error. It should not be like some UI errors and something. So yeah, so it's a small story about my Monday crisis. Basically, we are working on one project, and it currently also we are working on that project. It's 8th sprint of that project we are working on. In the second sprint, we deliver 4 pages to the client, and client pointed out 80 bugs on that 4 pages, and it's like a disaster for us. Because whenever we work on any project or we create something, our aim is to like deliver a best quality code, and if client pointed out the 80 bugs, it's just like a disaster. It's like a disappointment for all of us, whoever is working on that project. So then we sit together and we decided, first we need to find a problem, why this happened. So in this project, client have a clear requirement. Other than other stuff like PHP code standards and all, he has a 2 clear requirement for the CSS. He want us to use a BEM, which is a methodology to write a CSS class name. Okay, so it's basically used for naming convention. Second is to use, do not create any custom class if it's already exists in a Bootstrap 5. So if we are using any framework, it's a simple thing. If you want to use it in a proper way, you should not create any custom class which is already exist on that in that framework. So we found that we are not using a Bootstrap 5 properly. Second thing, we are not following a client coding standards. So the 2 coding standards which I say, first is we have to follow BEM. Second is we should not create any custom class unless it's not necessary. So I show you a code example. It's just a demo which I created for you guys. Visible? I think I should reduce the width of this. Visible now?
Yeah.
So like most of the developer already worked with Bootstrap, so they know key like display flex. The class is already exists in a Bootstrap file for this, which is dflex. Padding top 48 pixels. PT5 is the class already exists in a Bootstrap 5. So we found that there is a multiple developer who is working on this code, and they write some custom classes which is already exist in a Bootstrap 5. So when we go through all the 80 bugs pointed by the client, we found most of them are like CS level issues, like you created a custom class for this which is already exist on that. So for that we found a solution. So thing is why we actually did this problem. So problem is, as a developer you are not aligned or worked on one particular framework. You are working with a multiple framework, and if I am talking about only Bootstrap, there are thousands of classes. You can't remember that. No one can remember that. And if you are working on something, you can't like write one class name and go and check in the document it exists or not. You can't do that. Okay. So no one can remember all the Bootstrap classes available. So that's the actual issue which we found. So what we did, so we need a tech lead who can help us to check our code and tell us that this is something which you missed, or this is a code which is already exist in a, this is a classes which already exist in a Bootstrap 5, so you should not use it. But I am frankly saying, whoever is the guy, 10-year experience, 15-year experience, no one can tell you the exact thing, like check your code and say these classes is already exist on a Bootstrap 5. No one can say that. He need to check each and every class. So no tech lead have that time to check your code base and tell you that these classes are already exist. So we need to find a solution for that. So this mistake should not repeat again. So what we did, then I decided to use a leverage of AI tools to help us, and we need to find a solution how AI tool can help us to check our code and help us to like understand where we are doing the mistake. So what I did, then we created a personalized tech lead. Like personalized tech lead, how you can create it for you, I'll tell you. But personalized tech lead is something which is with you in your phone, in your laptop. So whenever in the middle of the night I am working on something, I want my tech lead to review my code and give some update on it. So I just need to paste my code in the ChatGPT and ask him to check my code and give a review on it. So how ChatGPT can help you with that? I'll give you a small example. Okay, so what I did here, I already downloaded a zip file of Bootstrap 5.3.2 and give it to ChatGPT and ask him to learn it. So what it did, like I'll give you an example. So like I already downloaded that file. I'll just give it to ChatGPT and ask him to learn it. Hi ChatGPT, can you check this file and do a, then I'll ask questions. So now what ChatGPT will do, it will unzip the file and read,
So you are using ChatGPT Pro, but if you are using ChatGPT 3.5, then there are certain limitations like
you can't upload the zip files.
zip file, but we can copy the code and paste it in the ChatGPT, but the code is
Still there is a limitation because there is a character limit. So you can't paste complete file. So if you want to use ChatGPT as a tech lead, or if you want to take up complete benefit of a ChatGPT, you should have a ChatGPT 4.
So do you have any other alternative for it?
See, if I show you the same example on a ChatGPT 3.5, it will not able to give you a proper answer. Okay, so if you want a proper answer from the ChatGPT, you have to first let him learn. So for that, they provided a upload options. They can read, ChatGPT 4 can read links for you, like blogs for you. So even in my experience, what I'll do, I'm not going to read a complete blog. I'll just take a link, give it to him and ask him for the summary. It automatically give it to me. So it will take some time to analysis. That's why I already uploaded one folder before. I'm going to directly ask him for the question. So like I already showed one code in which I show that there are some classes which already exist in a Bootstrap 5.3.2, and still we are creating some custom classes for that. So what I'll do, I'll copy that one and paste it here and ask him, hi ChatGPT, can you check this code and let me know if I am using, if I created any class which already exists in Bootstrap 5.3.2. So first thing which I already mentioned, like for display, we are using a display flex property. The class is already exists in Bootstrap 5.3. And second, for padding, we already, for using a padding term 48 pixel, we already have a class of PT3. Okay. Similarly for this one, like for hover effects, we are using some hover classes. Just one second. So we are using some inline styling with custom background. Okay. So this is actually a requirement. So it's okay. So basically there are 2 or 3 classes only in this small code which is already exist in a Bootstrap 5.3. So it automatically check that and let you know like these classes are already exist. So you should not create a custom class for that. And this is the one thing. Second thing is, it's not limited to Bootstrap only. Every company have some standards. Like if you work on any project, there are some standards given by the client, or company has also some standards like we should write a code in that way. you can directly provide it your standards to ChatGPT and ask him, like if you write some code, give it to him. He will work as a personalized tech lead for you. He's always available, 24/7 available, and he help you to optimize your code in a more better way. So after this, I saved my lot of time, and after the second sprint, we solved at 80 bugs in a one sprint. Yani ki, it means in 1 week only, and now there are like 4 to 5 bugs which we get from the client on basically from the business side. It's not regarding to the code level changes. So it helps me, it helps my team. I think it helped you guys also if you implemented it. Yeah.
Do you feel like ChatGPT is generating unwanted code? Suppose if you are building a website, you want a normal website, but ChatGPT is giving you complicated answers there.
Actually, it depends on how you ask him. Okay. So if you give some prompt, it depends on your prompt. It's like suppose it's a human. If you go to your friend and ask him like, can you create a website for me, or can you create this feature or functionality for me? What he will do? First, he'll ask you the questions, explain the functionality, explain the demand, business demand and everything. So first, you have to tell ChatGPT everything. What is the business demand? What I want? If you clear the everything, clear every questions of him, it will definitely help you. So in my daily life, whenever I came to office, first thing what I'll do, I open my laptop, I open a new tab, open a ChatGPT, and then start working on it. Okay, so it's a daily routine for us. It's not like it will help you to write a best code. You should know how to write a code. It will help you to optimize it, and it will help you to write a code in your standards. So that's this is how it will help us, and you can also use it. Any other question? Yep.
So this ChatGPT 4 help us instead of like the ChatGPT 3 version, just whatever we add, we just surfing the internet and give the information.
Yeah.
Might be possible that wrong information.
That's the one thing. So basically, if I directly give him a code and ask him, like, can you check with a ChatGPT, Bootstrap 5.3.2, and can you check all the classes? It will do the task for you. But what it will do, it go to the internet, check for the multiple places, and maybe it will not provide you the 100% result. But now in this case, you already told him, I already give you a zip file, check from this file only. So it more appropriate than the previous. So that's why you asked me like we can't use 3.5. You can use it, but if you want a better answer, you should have a fourth version. Any other question?
This response is too verbose. How to get a short version? Like this is too much to read.
Okay, so I'll give you one more example. Hi ChatGPT. Can you give me direct answer? It's a simple prompt. Like if your friend is going to explain you everything in a thing like continue speaking, you can directly tell him, bro, stop. Just tell me the main pointers. I'll do that. I understand that basically. None of the custom classes are created in CSS directly. Duplicate. 1 second.
That was the direct answer. You could not have gotten a better answer than that direct. That was a shorter answer.
Right, giving you a point by point answer. That answers like you can replace this class. I think it found one class, and for the padding top, it's not giving you an accurate answer. The reason is padding top 48 pixel. It depends if you are using a value of 1 REM. So it may be a class which you need to create according to the project, but deflects is something which is already exists and there is no changes in that. Okay, so that's the one thing. Yeah. Any other question?
You can also increase the temperature of ChatGPT.
Increase the temperature?
Yeah.
I didn't understand.
Suppose if you want to think critically something, so there is a temperature between 0.5, it's
Okay.
starting from 0 to it till 1.5. So if you want some critical answer, you have to maximize the temperature of ChatGPT like 1.5, and if you want the normal answer, the general kind of thing, you can use this.
Okay, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay.
Can you guide us back?
We are coding in VS Code, so we take the API of ChatGPT from open source, and we are developing a chatbot for the website.
So is it possible to configure in the ChatGPT
From
developers?
I don't use ChatGPT, but we can search in YouTube and
Okay, can you click on the arrow?
For that. It's something new which we learn. Anything else?
Yeah, you can type set the temperature from my.
Okay, so in the prompt
Yeah.
You just need to do a prompt.
Set the temperature.
Set the temperature.
You can type in 1 or 1.5.
Set the temperature to
1.5.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay.
So since it's still learning, we need to be very sure, and we have to monitor it so that it's not giving us misinformation. Like if you see there was a prompt here saying ChatGPT can make mistakes. Generally humans make mistakes. To err is human, but to err is also ChatGPT. So up next we have our next speaker, Sharath. Sharath is our in-house full stack developer who has worked in front end of our esteemed client Akasa Air as a core engineer, and he has a very great attention to detail, and he's very keen on quality control and version control. Thinking of version control, what's the first thing that comes to our mind? GitHub.
Yep.
Right, it's one of the most common and most widely used tools. I'm very sure every one of you have heard of it if you're a developer. So what makes a good PR from a great PR, or a good MR from a great MR? Over that topic, Sharath will be briefing us through his GitHub PR best practices document. Let's welcome Sharath to our next presentation.
So I have reviewed hundreds of PRs from last few months, and in those PRs I found the quality is dropping off. So I'm sure that at the end of this session we're gonna learn how to raise a great PR for your code base. Okay, so can you, one more slide. So in that 100 PRs I found the quality is dropping because of there are a few points are missing in that particular PRs. So yeah, the rank is also bad. So I found these points are dropping in those PRs, like a developer is not following up conventional branch namings and conventional commits, and then they're not doing a self-testing, and yeah, so because of all of this, so they're going to break the existed code and they're going to create a merge conflicts. So for that we built a process document for the PR rising and all. So can you go? Yeah. So anybody has a knowledge of Bitbucket and Git here?
Yeah.
So we do have as a developer, I think. So in that PR, we're gonna next page please. Yeah. So these best PR practices gonna increase your code quality, and this gonna be easy to review the PR itself, and then it's easy to maintain the code base and easy for the reviewer as well. So this PR process is gonna make your code quality increased, and you can maintain your code base in a much better way. So I can show a few points that I noticed in the last PRs I reviewed. So can you go on please? Yeah, these are the branch naming conventions we have to follow in our PRs, because these are the unified and defined branch namings. So let's say it's a feature login module. This is a standard process to create a branch, rather creating as an implement login module. So you created a branch like implement login module and you raised a PR, without following any best practices and PR processes and let it float in a code base. So it causes more bugs, right? And it's gonna damage your reputation with the client and all, right? So this is the best way of creating branch. If it's a feature, let's create it as a feature login module. And if it's a bug fix, create it as a fix login module, give feedback or bugs, right? So another thing I majorly noticed in a PRs, the missing point, it's the missing conventional commits. So let's say I'm the new developer and yeah, Lovepreet worked on a code base and I'm the new developer to take on the work from that code base. So there is no defined branch namings or conventional commits or great quality, I'll feel little uncomfortable with that code base, right? So these are the conventional commits gonna help you to track those previous code into that code base. So let's say if we are building a feature in our branch and we are going to raise a pull request for the code base, let's commit it as a feature and mention the module and then your commit message, whatever the feature you're putting into. So again, it will be the same for the bug fixes. Let's get it as a fix and then the module and the fix thing, the code. So yeah, after all this, we introduce a PR template to control the quality, and it's something like a checklist for the developer to check off all things before raising a PR. So can you go on, Ajit? Yeah, here is the PR template that we introduced to our previous projects. So let's say there is the first section where it explains the contents of the PR. So let's say the PR has a feature, fixes, everything, and where you have to check and what is carrying into the code base. So again, in the second section, we are mentioning that how to test the PR and how to review the PR. It's more of a help for the reviewer. They're providing help for the reviewer. And the third section, you can see the basic standards that we have to follow for a pull request, that basic branch naming conventions and conventional commits. So, and it should be the files and folders should be descriptive namings, and it should attach a Jira ticket link, or if you have any other platform you're working with a team, that link would help for a reviewer to check the PR detail. And the fourth section, which is a testing checklist, it will be a crucial part of the PR, because before developing something, we have a requirement, right? Regarding that requirement, we are testing the development part, and we want to deliver 0 bugs or less bugs as possible with our checklist. So in the below sections, we want to mention that if there is any known issues or something part we missed it out because it's not applicable for that PR. So at the very last point, that we defined as a definition of a done, which has a 5 points to maintain more quality from the developer end, that he tested the PR and he followed all naming conventions, branch namings, and removed dead code, refactored everything. So this is gonna help a lot to the code base to carry more quality code and less bugs into the code base. Yeah. So any questions on this?
Yeah, one thing. So last in the template, Ajit, can you open it? So these are the checklists, you know?
Correct.
So I understand the purpose of this. So basically, whenever we raise a PR, we have to check this if we miss any point. So as a developer, multiple times we forgot, like we should debug the code, or we should check for the the double equals to triple equals to this type of thing. So
yeah.
Which is I understand the thing which we needed, but the branch name. Okay, so if we put any branch name,
yeah.
How it will solve the issue?
So let's say I'm a new developer came into this code base, or just say let's keep it as I'm a tech lead in this project. So you merge something that's going to break existing code. So once that's merged into the code base, everything got broken, and this is a P0 issue, right? So this is where I'm gonna track your changes without branching names, and let's roll out the PR, or let's fix that part,
Okay.
if even though you're not available or something like that.
Okay, so by the name of that branch, you know this is the functionality which is merged in the code base, and you revert it back.
Correct.
To fix it.
Yes.
Understood.
So if you created a branch, like implemented a WordPress block, you don't know what is the block, and you don't know what's the fix or something. You just created a branch, and you let the code into the code base, which is breaking anywhere.
Understood.
So it will be easy to track changes and get it done.
I would like to add to that. So
Yeah.
one thing is when the person who do the PR review, so whole purpose of the branch naming is to have a clear communication.
Yeah.
And also it helps you with the potential error. For example, I created a random branch called my task 1 2 1 2 3 4. When I'm
Correct.
creating a PR, now I have to hustle and struggle to figure out what branch I'm going to select and when I'm going to create the PR. I might end up creating a wrong PR. So
Correct.
there is a problem of communication for the people, for yourself as a developer or someone who is working. Also the whole purpose of the source control is to have a clear history. So we are part of a history where we are writing a history not in a better way. So that is also problem. So that's the reason why we need the proper branch naming also. To
Yeah.
make our and people who are reviewing the process make their life easier.
I think it's also helpful when we are going to check for the old code.
Yes.
If we don't remember, then give a proper name, we can't remember in
Exactly.
which branch we have that code.
Correct. Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks.
Press your tech lead. So yeah, like they say, the journey of 100 miles begins with one step. The key to a great code base is through the first PR. So get your PRs right. I'm very sure your code base will be on a great shape. So now I think I learned a lot of things today, a lot of new things, including the temperature of ChatGPT. So I'll definitely try it out. So
It was the direct answer.
yeah, he was directly aggressive. So
I'm not going to tell you.
yeah, we want to keep this learning community alive and active so that we can constantly learn and grow from each other. So for that, we have our community building initiative that will be introduced by Kritika, our growth manager. So I welcome Kritika onto the dais.
Excuse me for my bad voice today. A very good evening, everyone. Let's do a quick vibe check, okay? It's been going slightly up and down, so I want you guys to give a really good, loud clapping, like a round of applause. It can be better, it can be better. Yeah, this sounds good. So, yes, this is firstly for our speakers delivering knowledge nuggets, amazing insights, for our management, especially conducting this event, and lastly for you guys to be like such an engaging, active audience throughout the session. This is our first WordPress, tech event. So I can't express my gratitude more, how excited I am to have you guys, joining us today on a busy Thursday evening. With that note, I really want you to request to join our, LinkedIn and WhatsApp community to get updates on our upcoming events. We guys will be focusing more on networking with our peer participants. With that, this is our closing note. Please help yourself with the amazing pizzas and cold drinks we have, and don't forget to, connect with your other participants on a one-on-one note. Thank you.